I didn't get put on to mint condition until I was a teenager, but once I was put on, I never let go. I love this album, and it's pretty much an album combined with all their greatest hits. The only song that's not on there that I completely love is This Day, This Minute, Right Now. Like this video if you like it, subscribe if you want to, comment down below if you have any questions, comments, or concerns. Both together. You don't have to fall, just let me be the one. Hey, I know, it's several days later. I know. I told you guys I was tired and I had a long day or something like that, whatever. So I'm here several days later, but you know, I made this video because it was his birthday and I was in the mood to listen to some old school music. Everything just felt aligned, coincidence after coincidence, and I really don't believe in that too much, but you know, let's get back into the album. I just wanted to say hey, as you can see, it's days later. Let's get into the next song. I'm ready.
I know you called me, yeah, said I had no time. Today is round, but still I bring. Ready for a understanding 1'5". Every day I'm thankful.
And I just realized, I don't know why, but for whatever reason, they left off I'm Ready on the official like album on YouTube. I don't know if it's on Apple or iTunes or whatever, but on YouTube, if you look up the album, they took off I'm Ready. I don't know why, but they did. I want to talk about mint condition. Like, I want to specifically talk about their impact and just talk about the classics and Stokely Williams' voice and just how amazing the music is, and honestly, in my opinion, how underrated it was. I know they were not at the level of like Boyz II Men and Jodeci, and I don't understand why they weren't. We'll get into that at the end of the video. We'll talk about the best songs they had, all that.
If only you could see how sweet your love is to me. Such a warm person now. I know that we can make it right. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Someone you love.
So why I did this video? If I didn't say it before, I'll say it again. I keep saying that. If I didn't say this before, I'll say it now. Why I did this video? Well, one, recently I did a Mariah Carey video. It was her birthday. And I pretty much reacted to my favorite album from her. It was kind of like a happy birthday slash my favorite album reaction slash appreciation. And that's kind of what this is as well. Like my favorite album from Mint Condition. To be fair, I did not listen to all their albums, but I mean, like, this is, like, in my opinion, the best album that has, like, a collective body of all their, like, best hits. Obviously from the title. And also it was Stokely Williams' birthday recently, which is the lead singer, which is the one that's killing us with all the motherfucking vocals. And don't get me wrong, like, the rest of the group gets their props from me too. Like, the drummer, you see how many times I pretended like I was playing the drums. Like, get into it, okay? That's what I'm saying. Like, and we're gonna get into the group and them being underrated. We'll get into that in a second. But the whole group itself gives. So I'm not taking away from anybody from the group, but I'm gonna be honest, because like most people care about who's in front, and I personally love music as far as like singing. I grew up listening to like R&B and like really good vocalists. I just now recently as an adult like started loving and listening to hip-hop, but Stokely Williams' voice is like unmatched in my opinion. It inspired me to want to do this video too, because I just feel like, you know, like with music, it's timeless, and especially classics. And I just feel like if one, if I'm gonna have a channel, I'm gonna do what I want to do, react to what I want to react to, and two, like I feel like classics need to get its praise when we can give them their flowers while they're still alive. Okay, so I do feel like this group is underrated. Let's get into why I feel that way. It's just like, it's a whole package that's just great and grand dame for me. I feel that way, in my opinion. Stokely's voice is everything butter. The drummer, Liv. I don't know what that is in the background playing on the mouth. I don't know if it's a saxophone. I don't know, but it's giving to. And whoever else is in the band, you're giving to. No offense, I don't know all the group members. I really only pay attention to the main lead because his voice was butter. That's all I cared about back then. And they're not popping now, so I don't really listen to their music now. I just listen to the old stuff. So it's nostalgia for me, so that's what I'm here for. And they're underrated. They were underrated in their time. They were underrated. I feel like they should have been as popping as a Jodeci and Mint Condition. However, first of all, if you are Mint Condition, because I want to get into my however. If you are a Mint Condition fan, or if you care, comment down below. Let me know what you feel about the group. But like, back to my however, I understand and I can see why they weren't as famous as the other groups were that were like their age, kind of most likely in their genre and their lane. I can see two reasons that jump out to me. One, the appeal, especially when it comes to like black culture and who your audience is. And because Mint Condition is black, automatically they are going to have to like try to appease the black culture. They don't have to, but usually that's when you get signed, they try to market you to who they feel would be best suitable to you. And obviously, like, usually that race plays a part in that, especially for like minorities. And with that being said, majority of black people, even now, but in that time specifically, catered more to the R&B style of the Jodeci's. They were cool with Mint Condition. Mint Condition wasn't as like, you know, like take your shirt off and like I want to freak you, you know, as Jodeci and stuff. But they can sing their asses off, all four of them. And that's what made them stand out, I think, a little bit more than Mint Condition at that time. I think there were other boy groups that were popular at that time too, but at the top of my head, when I think of male groups in the R&B genre of the 90s or 80s or 90s, it's amazing how Camera Battery dies so quickly. Like, wow. There's other ones, but like when I think of that time, I think of first Jodeci, then Boyz II Men, then Mint Condition. And I feel like when I compare those two groups to them, that's what sets them apart. I feel like the black culture was more, what's the word I'm looking for? Like they identified more with the group of Jodeci because it was more of like something that the women can identify with and found sexy. And they were also more male, they were more identifiable to black males in that time. Mint Condition, I mean not Mint Condition, Boyz II Men was not what you would consider your typical black male, like the type of vibe and like songs and stuff they sing. Like it was, but it was more like your buttoned up type of, you know what I'm saying? Like Jodeci was more like take your shirt off, like a little bit hood, a little bit gangsta-ish. I keep saying mint condition, dog. Boys to Men was not like that. They were more buttoned up, more like I was raised in church and I sung all my life. But the difference was they can sing, all four of them. So with that being said, it just set them apart. They can sing a cappella. It just gave and it set them apart. Mint Condition, like Stokely Williams can sing his ass off, and his voice is butter. And to me personally, like I love the other songs and the other groups members' voices, like from Jodeci and Mint Condition. But girl, why do I keep calling them that? Boys to Men. But in my opinion, Stokely Williams' voice is just, it sets apart to me. That's just my opinion. I don't know, it's just something about the way he does his runs and the highness pitch of his voice. I live. And with that being said, like even though it's very beautiful and the group gives great music and they have great beats and it's a whole band, the difference in my opinion that I see, and which I can see why more people clung to other groups over them, is one is just Stokely singing. It's not like all of them, it's just him. Second of all, they were not that relatable as far as like the black culture at that time, like the music, the style of the music, more specifically, that's what I mean. Not necessarily like the lyrics, but more of like the style, the way the beat plays, and the way it's more like jazzy. And at that time, like black people in the culture of black people, like the 90s and 80s was more into like hip hop, like R&B, but like sexy R&B. Mint Condition had some songs like that, but most of their stuff was more of like a jazzy feel. Also, like it was only one group member singing, and as well as like it wasn't as relatable, like their vibe. It wasn't as relatable. Also, another thing that I think makes it hard for some people, especially like newer people that were listening to the music at that time, that were trying to get into them, but then was like, nah, I'd rather listen to Jodeci or Boyz II Men, is quite a few of their songs takes a while for you to get into. Especially because Stokely Williams is the only singer, he has to carry the song. So I noticed a lot of his songs, or their songs, in the beginning, he's very like calm with it. You know, he sings the lyrics, he's giving it to you, but it's calm. He waits until either the second verse or after the second verse, like in the bridge or something, to give you all the runs. And even though I live and I love it, now that I'm thinking back on it, especially when I was like literally listening to it and realizing like I love this song, but it takes forever to get to the parts I love. I remember feeling that way back in the day when I used to listen to this, and I really like began to like get into the album. It took me a little bit, not a long time, but just a couple, you know, a little bit to get into like more songs in the album, because like So Fine, I love that song, but that song's 6 minutes long, and it literally takes like, I want to say 2.5, 3 minutes to get to the part where I'm like, I love it, but it takes too long to get to the good part. Same thing with Send Me Swinging. Same thing with there's another song that does that too. I want to say is You Don't Have to Hurt No More. I think it's that song. And What Kind of Man Would I Be? It's just like it takes too long to get to the like the climax. Like I want to hear you like scream already, like get to it. And I don't know, maybe I'm just the only one that feels that way, but that's just my opinion. That's what it's giving to me. Regardless of how anyone feels about this video, whatever views, whatever, like I'm glad I did this video. It's probably gonna take me forever to edit, but I'm glad I did it because honestly I haven't listened to this album in a minute, and this is nostalgia.